Hey guys, it's Heather, and I am working on lining quite a few soap molds today, so thought I would share that adventure with you. See if I can get it to where you guys can actually see what I'm doing. That might be important because I'm about to make a bunch of what am I trying to say? Soap dough. So I'm lining a bunch of molds, plus I have a lot of other soaps that I'm going to be making here very shortly. So I thought I would go ahead and get this done and line them all at once. I just pulled off a length of my freezer paper, lined it up at the top, creased it, and then folded along those crease lines. Now there are 100 ways to line. This is just the way I'm doing it today. The soaps don't have to look perfect because it's soap dough, so I don't really have to worry about too many creases or things like that. Hold it. There we go. I'm just making sure it's lining up. And I'm sorry if this paper is really loud, you guys. Now I'm just going to fold the insides in while keeping my corners tight to the edge. So that I've got that side. And I'm going to do the same thing with this side over here. Line it up with the edge, make sure my crease is nice and tight, and line it up just like that. Now normally if I were doing a different type of mold, I would make sure all my creases were up on the side underneath that panel. You can see, do it like that with this panel here on top. Just to cover it up to make the edge smooth, but like I said, since this is soap dough, I'm not really worried so much about the appearance of it. I just want to make sure that the mold is fully covered. Okay, there's that one. This side. Can you guys see what's happening? Fold it over like so. You want to make sure that your edge stays tight and that you crease it really, really well. Just like that. And then you can take scissors or an X-Acto knife or whatever. Just slice your edges down. That one was off a bit. I've been lining my big molds lately, so lining small ones is a little bit different. I have to get used to it again. I'm going to be testing out a bunch of fragrances from Aztec Candles very soon, so I'm going to be using these a lot more because I got them in sample sizes, which is 1 ounce. Let me trim this. Making sure it's smooth. And I use my extra little pieces of paper, freezer paper, for if I'm piping flowers, I'll cut it up into little squares. I'll pipe flowers onto them. So I save them. I don't waste them. But you could throw them away. And these are some well-worn molds. So just creasing the edge, making sure it all stays nice and even. And crease this edge. And then this way. See that? You just fold it over on that crease line. There's the crease line. You just fold it over. The key is to make sure that your shiny side of your paper is facing up. And that way you're just following your crease. And when you're doing this crease, you can make sure that the creases line up. This one and this one. And then you know you're actually making it a straight line. Slide it in. Make sure it matches up all the way to the corners. And then slide in your other side. Make sure that crease is really nice. And then take your side. Hold down the flap. That little flap there, hold it down. And you're going to make sure your corner is lined up nice and smooth until you hit the edge. Just like that. And then do the same thing with the other side. And then just keep going all the way around. Okay. I wish my scissors were a little bit tighter. I mean sharper. Make sure you're tight to your edges when you're going to tape it down, because you want to make sure you're actually taping it so that there are not any air bubble gaps, because if there's a gap or an air bubble, then the soap can leak through, and if the soap leaks through, it'll get in between the creases instead of on top of them, and you don't want that. putting a sharp crease in just helps it to stay down. And there we have it. And like I said, with this, I mean, you could even do it up like that and tape it if you wanted to, just to get it out of the way, but having it down like that doesn't hurt anything. If you really want to make sure, you can just put a little piece of tape on the bottom. It won't affect the soap. Just like so, just to make sure it's sealed, if that's what you want to do. Okay, now I've got this one. And I just cut myself, so I'll be right back. You guys got to grab a Band-Aid. Always a good thing to have in your soap room. A little first aid kit. Because the soap, I mean the thing is sharp. Go. Putting alcohol on my hands and grabbing a glove. There we go. Easy fix. So taking my freezer paper, oh, that was loud, I'm sorry. Lining it up, running my fingernail across to crease it here. I'm going to do the same thing here and on the edge right here. And then I'm going to follow that straight down and make my crease. Follow that down, make my crease, and do the same thing on this side. Sometimes it takes longer to prep to make soap than it does to actually make the soap. So I try to do as much of it at one time as possible. Okay, fold it over, crease it, fold this one over, crease it again, line it up to the edge, and press it in. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Make sure your corner is nested nice and in there. And then press down to make sure it's flat in that edge and crease right along there. Then we do the exact same thing. Make sure it's pressed up into the edge. Make sure it's lined up. Press it all the way to the bottom edge. And crease. You have your little triangle. Really have to find a way to to where you guys can see straight down. It would make things so much easier. Okay, I'm making sure that it's fully lined up. And then cut my edge. And this just makes it to where you can fold it down on the sides. Crease my edges and fold it down. And I am using Gorilla Tape. And I don't know why that's not sticking, but it's frustrating. And there is that one. Now next up is to, I'm going to move you a little bit, you guys. Oh, okay. Next up is to line this one. First thing I want to do, spray it out with alcohol and wipe it down. None of this is going to come in contact with the soap, but I still want to make sure that any like little pieces of colorant that may have fallen in or anything like that are nice and cleaned off. Oh no, that's marker. I'm okay with that. So a little bit of glitter. Okay. That's just real. Lining up my edge, creasing the outside edge, creasing that inside edge, folding over this. That one moved. And look at where the crease is, fold it over. And then make sure it nestles right in. Then I'm going to take this, and I know you guys can't see this, so I'll show you on the other side. Okay, So here's what we do. We just press in the edges and lift this. And you want to make sure your edges stay nice and tight and up against the corner. And you can smooth it out. And you know that that's right up against that corner. And you do the same thing over here. Make sure it's nestled right into the corner. That this edge and this edge line up. And then crease your paper. And then we do the same thing we did with the others. Oops. Oh, that's okay. And then tape it down. Line it up, make sure it's flat. Do the same thing to this side. A good sharp crease helps to keep it where you need it to be. That's glitter. Glitter. And there's that side. I'll flip it. It has soap. And do the same thing to the other side. sure it's nestled in there nicely. And then fold up that side. Make sure you crease it. Fold up this side. Make sure to crease it. Get this out of the way. I have Dolly Parton music stuck in my head. I have finally watched the Netflix movie Dumplin' and loved it. Cried the whole time because it was that kind of good emotional, sweet, I don't know, cry movie. Hi from India. It is nice to see you here. I don't know what happens. I don't know if it just shuts off over a period of time, but every while when I'm doing a video, it will just stop. I have no idea why. It's definitely stressful and frustrating. Go. Now we've got this one lined. I've got all of the other ones lined. Put my paper away. But that is pretty much it, you guys. That's how I line at least these molds. They'd be much more neat in the wooden molds if I were doing soap that I'm selling versus soap that I'm using to make different things. Let me see if I have my... Here are the embeds that I made with the last of my soap. And that will go on top of the soap that I'm making in here. I'm trying to decide if I want to do any soap cupcakes for this season or not. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know. It's been a long time since I've done a video making cupcakes. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you want to see next. And I guess I will see you guys on the next video. This is Heather from H&P Artistry, wishing you luck, love, and a great day.